Good afternoon, Warrior families. This is Superintendent Darrell Edwards coming to you with some information on an update from Goshen Local Schools. As I'm sure that many of you know, Governor DeWine has extended our remote learning through May 1st, 2020. Initially, we planned for 2 weeks of remote lessons, and in order to give our staff time to plan for the upcoming weeks, the first important piece of information is we will be having a teacher in-service workday on Monday, April 6th, where students will not be completing any remote learning that day. Teachers will be working on developing and finalizing lessons and plans for those next 4 weeks of remote learning. As a reminder, we're also closed on Friday, April 10th as well. So students will next week be completing work on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in their remote learning experience. Our plan is to, during this extended remote learning days, is to continue to provide instruction that will review previously learned content, extend our students' learning on grade level content, and reinforce student learning goals. So we also are providing this information to help clear up any expectations that we have in students in grades PK-12 coming forward. Assignments are going to be grade level appropriate in length and difficulty, and what students would typically be asked to complete in their classroom. Teachers will continue to communicate with families on their students' progress through online apps, project-based activities, Google Meet, Google Classroom, Class Dojo, pencil paper tasks, etc. Students with disabilities and students on 504 plans will continue to have accommodations and modifications. We miss seeing our students. We missed meeting with them on a daily basis. Of course, like the governor, our first priority is the health and safety of each and every one of them. So we want you to continue to stay safe, stay healthy, continue working on these lessons at home, and continue to warrior up. At this time, I would like to introduce Mrs. Scherzinger, our curriculum director, to provide more information on this remote learning plan.
Hello, Warrior families. I first want to start off by saying how proud I am of the work that our teachers, our staff, and parents and students are doing during this time. As Mr. Edwards said, our remote learning will continue on Tuesday, April 7th. Teachers will have an in-service day on Monday, April 6th. All students going forward will have assignments given to them by 8 a.m. on Mondays. There's a few different ways we'll be communicating those assignments. There will be electronic delivery for Mark Cook and Spalding students. Their teachers will be sending their work to their parents' email. Paper copies will also be available at the buildings. And as always, our teachers are available to help virtually from 9 to 3 every day. Our remote learning students at GMS and GHS will have assignments posted by 8 a.m. via Google Classroom and other learning platforms. Those of you at GMS and GHS who need paper copies, your principals will be communicating a time, but each week your work will be available to you in the foyer of your school building. Due dates for the digital assignments for GMS and GHS will be 11:59 p.m. on Sundays. Teachers will review assignments for completion throughout the week and communicate with students concerning missing assignments. Fridays will be used by teachers for lesson preparation and specific needs identified by students, teachers, and parents. Teachers will individually conference or small group conference with students. They will not be delivering new content in form of lectures or other means that way. Students will still have work to complete on Fridays. Teachers will be available on an individual basis. According to a lot of research we've done, we've tried to make a plan that is successful for everyone. I'm at home working with my student and also working from home. So one of the things I would like to suggest for families is for you to use that time on Monday, April 6th to get your areas organized. We strongly encourage parents to use this day for preparing for the upcoming weeks. A few recommendations would be establish a daily routine. Continue to get up for school at the same time each day, maintain and create a schedule and follow that. Also, a workspace is very important. Try to create an effective workspace that's designated for schoolwork and probably parents working. Make sure your space is comfortable and organized. Make sure all of your supplies are in the workspace. We really recommend that workspace be in a central location of the house, maybe your dining room table where all students are located in one area in that house so that parents can easily monitor the learning that's happening. One of the most important things to do is to create a schedule. We have some example schedules for you. It's really important that students create a schedule for themselves for the day to make sure they're able to work and get things completed. The amount of work will depend obviously on the grade level and specific teachers based on student need, but it's really important for you to create and maintain a schedule for your students. Not only do we need to find balance for schoolwork, but students also need to have some mental health, or we like to call them brain breaks, for balance. So this slide just talks to you about some suggested activities that will address some of those areas. For example, our students need to be up and active. So when you create that schedule, be thinking about a way for them to incorporate some physical activity. Get up and take a walk, do some exercising. We have a bunch of online resources for students, such as Brain Pop, and there's workout videos on YouTube. There's all different kinds of things that you can be doing to keep them active and moving. On those rainy days when you can't get outside, we have a list of activities for you. There's some no internet remote learning activities where it doesn't require a computer or the internet, but some things that students can do. One of my favorite activities is the idea of creating a journal for this time while you're home. It's a great way for students to work on those writing skills, but then also document the things that is happening at home. With that being said, before I turn this over to Mr. Bailey, I just want to remind parents that when you need help, reach out to your child's teacher. We are available through email, to meet remotely. You're not in this alone. We are truly your partners in this. And we would much rather be with your kids. We would much rather have our students in our school buildings. Even though our buildings are closed, education is still happening. And we are here for you. So please don't hesitate to reach out anytime you need assistance. And without further ado, I'm going to turn things over to our Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Bailey.
Hello, Warriors. I'm going to cover some frequently asked questions. And with this situation, we've had a lot of great questions come up. We've created some of our own, and you guys as parents and students have created some for us. We're hoping that we can take some time today to cover a few of the important frequently asked questions. On our webpage, you can also find a section of other questions that you may need answers. I'm going to start with state testing. The Ohio General Assembly passed emergency legislation that eliminated state testing for the 2019-20 school year. So we will have no state testing this year. That piece of legislation also covered the third grade reading guarantee. With that being said, they waived the third grade reading guarantee retention requirement, but provided some guidance that ask us to continue to intervene with those students. Goshen staff will continue to offer reading intervention to students who have not met the required threshold of the reading guarantee in the fall. Mr. Turner, Ms. Slosher, and Mrs. Ginther will be in contact with those specific families. Another question related to testing is, what about AP testing with our high school students? AP testing is still on. Students are encouraged to continue to study for the AP test. I know our AP teachers are doing a great job of continuing to provide those students remote learning resources. The traditional face-to-face exam has been canceled, but students will take a 45-minute online free response exam at home. So for each AP student, there will be 2 different testing dates. Our high school staff, including Mrs. Walker, will be communicating with families more about that as information becomes available. We've heard this question, and this is one that we just don't have answers to right now, and I know everybody wants answers, but what about events like prom and graduation? Currently, as Mr. Edwards said, all school-related activities are canceled through May 1st. There have been no decisions made on prom, graduation, fine arts performances, spring sports, end-of-the-year events. We are simply, like you guys, waiting on guidance from Governor DeWine and the reopening of our school buildings. We'll continue to communicate with the community when those decisions are made, and we are in the background trying to find ways to make alternative opportunities for some of those situations. So stay tuned. The last question that has come up quite a bit is, will students need to make up lost hours at the end of the school year? With that same legislation that canceled state testing, there was law signed that allowed school districts to use distance learning or remote learning to make up for any of those missed days. We are so fortunate to have such great teachers, and students and families are doing an incredible job with our remote learning that we will not need to make up any hours based on this closure. So I'm so proud, and I know all of us are, of our teachers, students, and families for shifting gears into this remote learning and doing a great job with it. One other piece that I want to talk about is we are going to make a change to our nutrition program, our feeding program. Starting on Monday, April the 6th, we are going to go to 3 days a week of pickups. We have been having families pick up meals Monday through Friday, and at this time we're going to make a shift to picking up on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 10:30 to 12 still behind Bar Cook. On Mondays and Wednesdays, families will be provided meals for 2 days. So with that adjustment being said, we'll communicate that out as well on Facebook, but please know that we're going to be shifting gears there and going to 3 days a week instead of 5. In closing, as I said with the remote learning piece, we couldn't be prouder of our community. There's so many people stepping up and doing great things for their neighbor, for our students, for our teachers. We're in this together. Never is rung so true. But we continue to warrior up every day, and we're very proud of all of our students and our teachers and our community for coming together in this tough time. As always, if you have questions, please reach out to your child's principal, teacher, or visit our website for more information. As always, we hope everyone is staying healthy and following the governor's stay-at-home order. We'll get through this together. Go Warriors.